Now, radioactivity definition. The phenomenon of spontaneous emission of radiations from a radioactive substance is called radioactivity. Now, phenomena of spontaneous emission. It means on its own. You are not doing any chemical reaction or any such thing. There is a substance that is kept. This substance, we call it radioactive substance. This radioactive substance on its own, spontaneous means on its own, is giving out some invisible radiations, invisible rays. This phenomena is called radioactivity. It means on its own, this substance is giving out invisible rays. These invisible rays, we call them radiation. And this phenomena, why it is called phenomena? Because it is not any chemical reaction. Phenomenon means it is happening on its own naturally. Okay. These substances that are giving out these radiations, we call them radioactive substances. All substances are not radioactive. Only a few substances are radioactive. We will see what is the criteria or how these substances and why these substances are radioactive. Okay. Those are the substances which are having unstable nucleus. It means that nucleus itself is unstable. It has nothing to do with electron or electronic configuration. Any factor that is outside the nucleus, it has nothing to do. It means here the nucleus of an atom which is there, this nucleus of an atom is unstable, and from there it is emitting out these particles or these radiations or these rays. This phenomena is called radioactivity. We will see how this radioactivity is coming into play or coming into picture. Okay, we have just in recent times done the definition of atomic number, which is number of protons. The first element is hydrogen, atomic number 2 is helium, atomic number 3 is lithium, and so on. We go on until atomic number 82. Okay, this element is lead. Now from 1 to 82, these all are naturally occurring elements, and these all are having stable nucleus. It means these substances are not radioactive. Once you reach atomic number 83, which is bismuth, of course this 84 is polonium, and so on. Whatever all these elements are there, you go on 83, 84 up till 92. This element is uranium. All these elements are also naturally occurring elements, but they are radioactive. It means all of these elements are going to emit out invisible radiations, and these substances are going to be radioactive substances. Of course, we will see that what is present in those radiations, those are going to be basically three types of radiations, which are going to be alpha radiations or alpha particles, beta particles, and gamma radiations or gamma rays. Out of these alpha and beta, of course, I will come to that point later when we do the types of radiation. There is also Rutherford's experiment to determine how these types of radiations are determined or how they are found. Okay, so this is about the stable nucleus 1 to 82. All of these are naturally occurring elements, and they are not radioactive. They have stable nucleus. Starting from 83 to 92, all of these are also naturally occurring elements, but they are radioactive and they have unstable nucleus. Once you go beyond 92, 93, 94, up till 117, 18, all these elements which are there starting from 93 onwards, up till how much ever all these elements are there, 117 or 118, all these elements do not exist in nature. we artificially prepare these elements. Now, how do we artificially prepare these elements? Basically, what is this? Atomic number of protons. If I forcibly add number of protons inside the nucleus, of course, we cannot do this in common laboratories. These all can be done only in nuclear laboratories. So we artificially add up protons and we increase the atomic number. These are all artificially prepared elements in the nuclear laboratories. They also will be having unstable nucleus, and these are going to be artificially prepared elements. These all elements which are there 83 to 92, they are naturally occurring elements. And they are also radioactive because they have unstable nucleus. This is all about the introductory part of radioactivity. If you have any questions, you can ask me.
Are they radioactive? I mean,
okay, your question is what about the compounds of radioactive substances? A radioactive substance which is there, it is because of the nucleus. It has nothing to do with electronic configuration. Anything that is outside the nucleus, it has nothing to do. All nuclear phenomena are independent of external conditions, whether it is in the state of element or it is in the state of compound. You increase the temperature, you heat it to 1000 degrees Celsius, 10,000 degrees Celsius, it is not going to make any change in the nuclear phenomenon. Whatever has to be given, whatever these particles are coming out from the nucleus, it is going to be there, whether it is element, it is compound, you apply high temperature, high pressure, whatever you do outside, anything that is outside the nucleus, it has nothing to do. Radioactivity, the phenomena of radioactivity is independent of all external conditions, anything that is outside the nucleus. And radioactivity is a random process, random phenomena. Now at a certain instant, alpha particles will be given out. Say for example, afterwards of course we'll see the types of radiations. You cannot say that next, now you cannot predict that next only alpha or only beta or gamma rays are going to come out. It's a random process. You cannot, there is no prediction for it. Any particle can come out at any moment. The next part that we are doing is how do we detect this type of radiation. Before that, I'm just going to do one small introductory part that was about discovery of radioactivity, which was done by Henry Becquerel. Now, some chemical reactions were being studied by Henry Becquerel, and at that time, radioactivity was not known. Nobody knew that these invisible rays are coming out. So some by mistake, some uranium salt which was there that was kept over here in a dark room. Inside this drawer, he had kept some photographic plates. These photographic plates get affected by sunlight or some kind of rays when they are falling on them. The room was completely dark. This uranium salt which was there, when he removed these photographic plates were found as if it was exposed to bright sunlight. It was completely dark. There is no chance by which any of these rays can come out. So he thought that this uranium salt is having something which is giving out these invisible rays. This is how by accident Henry Becquerel got this discovery of the radioactivity. Afterwards, from uranium, then many other elements were discovered which were having this radioactive phenomena. Now, what is present in this type of radiations? There was an experiment that was carried out by Rutherford. We will just draw that diagram, And we will see what are these kind of radiations, and we need to know all the properties of these radiations. The next part is detection of types of radiations. This is Rutherford's experiment. This is the place at which the radioactive substance is kept. It is surrounded by a lead block. Now, lead is the heaviest element which is not radioactive. I'm repeating, lead is the heaviest element, atomic number 82. 1 to 82, all of these elements are non-radioactive. They are naturally occurring elements. Lead is the heaviest element which is non-radioactive. And therefore, these radiations, after a few centimeters of lead, these radiations cannot come out. So this is basically lead block is for protection. Other all materials, heavy metals, whichever metal they may be, the radiations can easily pass through them. They are highly penetrating radiations. We are going to also see all the properties of these radiations. Now, how these three types of radiations basically are detected. These radiations are coming out through a tiny hole or tiny slit. We are subjecting this radiation in between this space. The space in between which is there, this is electric field. It means there is going to be positive plate. This is the positive plate. This is the negative plate. Two metal plates will be there. One will be connected to the positive terminal. The other will be connected to the negative terminal of a battery. This space in between which is there, that is electric field. Now these radiations which are there, they are splitting into three different parts. One, of course, is going straight. It means these radiations are going to be uncharged radiations because they are not getting attracted towards positive or negative charge. The other type of radiation which is there is getting slightly, I'm using the word slightly, the green colored ray that is marked, these are alpha particles or alpha rays, is getting slightly deviated towards the negative plate. As you know, opposite charges attract. Because it is getting attracted towards the negative plate, it means alpha particles are positively charged. Another important thing, because it is getting slightly deviated, very little deviation is there, it means these particles are very heavy. The third type of radiation that is there, these are getting attracted towards the positive plate, so obviously they will be negatively charged. These are going to be beta particles or beta rays. These deviation that is taking place is sharp. Here you see there is little distance. Here you see this distance is large. It means these particles are light. So this is how we are going to obtain basically three types of radiations, namely alpha particles, beta particles, and gamma rays. What are the properties of these radiations? We are going to make a chart of this, and we are going to study each and every property. There are about 8 to 10 properties, comparative properties of alpha, beta, and gamma radiations. Basically, alpha particle, what is an alpha particle? It is helium nucleus. What is helium nucleus? It's a set of 2 protons and 2 neutrons. Okay. So that is what helium nucleus is. Helium atom, as you know, if you are taking helium atom with 2 electrons outside, if I remove those 2 electrons, inside this only 2 protons and 2 neutrons are there. The 2 electrons are gone from outside the orbit. Then this is going to become helium nucleus. This is alpha particle. So it is very heavy. Its atomic mass is going to be 4 AMU, 4 atomic mass units, because of 2 protons and 2 neutrons. 2 plus 2 is 4. Beta particles are electrons. They are simply the stream of electrons. The last one is gamma radiation. These are simply electromagnetic rays or electromagnetic waves. They will travel with the same speed of light because it is electromagnetic in nature. We are going to take down the comparative properties. You are also going to draw the diagram first. If you have any questions, I will answer them.
Helium. I didn't understand the helium part.
Helium is not a radioactive substance. Alpha particle that is coming out, that is helium nucleus. I'm not keeping helium nucleus over here. I didn't say that helium nucleus is over here. Here there is a radioactive substance whose atomic number is going to be more than 82. From there, these alpha particles are coming out, and those alpha particles will be containing will be basically helium nucleus, which is going to be a set of 2 protons and 2 neutrons. I didn't say that I'm keeping helium over here. It's a radioactive substance that is kept over here. You got
Yeah,
that?
understood. Yeah.
Just check down that diagram and we'll proceed ahead. Yeah, this is the next part that I have already said. Nuclear phenomena are independent on external factors like pressure, temperature, chemical state, whether in element form or compound form. Okay. The example is given over here. Uranium chloride will have same radioactivity as uranium element itself. So these are the conditions because nuclear phenomena are dependent only on nucleus. They are not dependent on external factors. The next part which is there is background radiations. This part is very important. Background radiations are universal. Universal means they exist everywhere in the universe. Okay. So that is about background radiations because all substances themselves which are there, they themselves, of course, these background radiations which are there, they are very, very less or very, very mild or very, very feeble as compared to the radiations that are given by a radioactive substance. It is hardly detectable. You need very sharp instruments for this. We are going to have one diagram for this also, which is called GM counter, Geiger-Müller counter. Geiger-Müller were the scientists who found this, and the diagram also we are going to draw, of course, not the internal construction, only how the Geiger-Müller counter will be able to detect radiations. Only that part of the diagram we are going to draw. You can take down these statements which are there, and then we'll move ahead to the next part. The next part is the table of comparative properties of alpha particles, beta particles, and gamma radiations. The charge of alpha particle is +2. Is in nature, as in nature it is mentioned over here, it is a set of 2 protons and 2 neutrons. It's a helium nucleus. So 2 protons, therefore its charge is +2. Beta particles are stream of electrons, so its charge is -1. Gamma rays are electromagnetic radiations, so it won't have any charge. The next property that we are discussing is mass. It's 4 atomic mass unit, AMU. That is 2 protons plus 2 neutrons. 2 plus 2 is 4. Beta particles will have mass of electrons, that is negligible mass. Gamma rays or gamma radiations will have no mass. Okay. So the next part, nature, I have already explained to you. The next part is deflection and electric fields. Obviously, because alpha particles are positive, so they will get deflected towards negative plates. Same way, beta particles are negatively charged electrons, so they will get deflected towards positive plate in an electric field. Gamma rays have no charge, so there is no deflection in electric fields. Then deflection in magnetic field, we have to use over here Fleming's left-hand rule. Here, because there is no charge, it's not going to have any deflection. The next part that is there is penetration power. Okay. Penetration power means it can pass through how much is the strength of penetration. Alpha particles are very heavy. They are also slow moving. So their penetration power is minimum. They can be stopped by sheets of paper. Beta particles, the penetration power is more. They are a stream of electrons. They can be stopped by iron sheets. Gamma radiations have maximum penetration power because their mass is very less. Their energy is very high. They can also pass through few centimeters of lead. As we have seen, lead Pb, atomic number 82, is the heaviest of non-radioactive elements. This is about the comparative properties, that is in terms of penetration power. The last of these properties is ionizing power. I'm going to explain you what is the meaning of ionization. Alpha particles will have maximum ionizing power because they are helium nucleus, +2 charge is there. They can grab and remove electrons from almost anything. Then this is about beta particles. Their penetration power is less. Gamma radiations, they will do nothing. They will just pass through any substance because they have very high penetration power and their velocity is also very high. So through any substance, they will pass through them without causing any ionization in them. What is basically ionization or ionizing power? Okay, ionization means removing electrons from other substances and making them charged particles, that is ions. Now suppose here some gas is there, gas particles are there. These are alpha particles which is set of 2 protons and 2 neutrons. Here at present electrons will not be there. Now through these gas particles, what it will do is it will grab and remove these electrons, because you know that helium, I'm talking about helium atom, not helium nucleus. If helium atom is there, it is very stable, so it can easily remove the electron from other substances and become helium gas. And in the process, what it is doing, it is removing electrons from other substances. And that is what is called ionization. Means removing electrons from other substances and making them charged particles. So alpha particles will have maximum ionizing power because their speed is also less and they are helium nucleus. So if they remove electrons from other substances, they can become helium gas, which is very stable. You'll take down all the comparative properties and then we'll go ahead to the next part.